All right, we're here with the expert, Paul Saladino. We're gonna rapid fire ask him some questions about seed oils. What doctor is credited with the saturated fat research in favor of consuming seed oils?
Ansel Keys?
Yes. How much seed oils does the average American consume in a year? So one individual person, and the quantity is in pounds.
5 to 7 tablespoons a day times 365 days a year. 20 pounds?
100 pounds.
100 pounds?
It's gross.
No. Can we please stop soloing the name of Ansel Keys? He was a phenomenal scientist, along many others. Many people that critique the work of Ansel Keys have not read a single paper of, well, his work. But this video is not about Ansel Keys. This video is about seed oils. Paul Saladino, I'm calling you out and I'm offering to have a friendly debate about seed oils. Let's see if you are willing to accept the offer. Anyways, while we are waiting for your response, let's look at the research. It is well established, not only by Ansel Keys, but by the work of many other scientists in this field, that if you replace saturated fats with unsaturated fats, for example like canola oil, we can see a huge reduction in cholesterol, as seen as in this systematic review and meta-analysis of randomized controlled clinical trials published by Gobadi and colleagues. You don't have to be a scientist to see that all the trials included in this forest plot show a decrease in cholesterol. However, a paper that doesn't get highlighted enough in the seed oil discussion is the following paper published by Sachs and colleagues. They use the most rigorous inclusion criteria of all the seed oils paper I've read so far. In order for the study to be included in this analysis, it needed to checkmark all the following criteria. Exclusion of trans fats. Certain trials like the Minnesota Coronary Experiment, Sydney Diet Heart Study and the Rose Corn Oil Trial used trans fats. Hence, it can skew the results of these trials, making it seem that polyunsaturated fats are more harmful for you than saturated fats. These are older trials and they didn't know better back in the day. But nowadays we know how harmful trans fat can actually be. Controlled diets. Both groups adhered to specific dietary regimens. This criteria is not really much of a surprise. However, the next two criteria are of utmost importance. A minimum duration of 2 years. This duration allows for sufficient changes in polyunsaturated fatty acid levels, which take about 2 years to reach 60 to 70% of their full effect. Why 2 years? That is a really fabulous question. Polyunsaturated fats take roughly 2 years to equilibrate with tissue fatty acid levels. Equilibrate simply means that polyunsaturated fats gradually replace other fatty acids within the tissues. And that process takes roughly around 2 years. Other criteria are biomarkers for adherence. Certain biomarkers are essential, and one of those is linoleic acid, which is an essential fatty acid, meaning your body cannot make it or synthesize it on its own, and hence it's a really great marker to measure diet adherence. And of course, they also measured cardiovascular disease events. With this very strict inclusion criteria, researchers included 4 trials. As this forest plot shows, all the trials combined led to a 29% reduction in coronary heart disease. I would also like to point out to the facts that the confidence intervals within these trials were quite narrow. The confidence intervals are the straight lines. Allow me to explain in very simple terms what confidence intervals are. If you were to conduct this study 20 more times, 19 out of the 20 times the results would fall within the confidence interval range. Let's make an example with the Oslo trial. The confidence intervals range here from 0.55 to 0.92, meaning a reduction in risk of 45 to 8%. So if researchers were to conduct the same trial 20 more times, the risk reduction would fall anywhere near the confidence intervals or the numbers that I just presented. Why am I telling you this? This is vital because this helps us understand where the fear-mongering of seed oils comes from. And it mostly stems from one meta-analysis, released by Ramsden and colleagues. Many people that are scaring you about seed oils are sharing this paper left and right. This paper, however, has a lot of limitations. Before I show you the forest plot, remember what I told you about confidence intervals. The more narrow they are, the more confident we are about the results of the studies. Okay, having said that, allow me to blend in the forest plot. The first study, the Minnesota Coronary Experiment, has confidence intervals ranging from 0.78 to 0.62. It's getting even more ridiculous. Look at the confidence intervals of the Sydney Diet Heart Study, 1.04 to 2.91. And to top it all off, the Rose Corn Oil Trial, with confidence intervals ranging from 0.58 to 37.15. I've read many papers in my life, but confidence intervals that are that wide apart from each other is really something that shocks me. And that is quite telling to the quality of these trials. The trials I just showed you right now are truly the only human studies that show harm by consuming seed oils. And that is most likely due to, well, a lot of limitations being present in these studies. Having said all that, Paul, why are you constantly ignoring the totality of evidence? This is quite an alarming behavior that you tend to have on your page. And I would love to truly have a debate with you to discuss the limitations of the studies you tend to cite. And to also discuss the, well, overwhelming body of research stating that seed oils are indeed healthy for you. What are your thoughts about this topic? Feel free to let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you during my next video.